I'm joined here by Jaclyn Bouchard, who is EVP of ESG at Solutions and Corporate Responsibilities at Preqin. Apologies, that's a lot of letters to say.
We do love an alphabet soup here, don't we?
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. So I'd love to ask you about the past, present, and future of ESG data in private markets. What's going on with that?
Well, thankfully, a lot is going on, but I would say it's come quite a long way, even in the past 2 to 3 years that I've been in these markets. I think important, really, just to ground set is that alternatives, private markets are, well, private, so they're inherently opaque. So even financial data, let alone non-financial ESG data, can sometimes be hard to come by. However, again, in the past 2-3 years, we've really seen many more of the market players come forward almost proactively with data, whether it be because they see it as a differentiator, because they're being regulated now, or because quite literally they are now a private market impact investor. You know, we're really seeing it come along to almost the path that public markets has been on for quite some time. So I'd say it's looking up, and transparency is definitely on the rise.
Yeah, and how are you seeing this evolution of ESG, like integration within investment strategies in a more systemic or fundamental way instead of just sort of an add-on?
Yeah, it's again, I think it's really on the up and up. We work with GPs who are fundraising, and more we're being asked for information about the LPs they're trying to fundraise from. They want to know, are they members of the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance? They want to know, do they have any specific investment criteria in their mandates? You know, it's getting more and more specific, really.
And sorry, just to clarify that, you're talking about the LPs of the investment firms are wondering that about where they're investing?
So the GPs who are looking to attract LPs are trying to figure out the LPs, how advanced they are on ESG, what they might require from a GP, should they take the money, or really trying to matchmake and find an LP that is at the same level as them in sustainability. And so they want to know that. And then on the flip side, for the LPs, when they're doing their fund manager sourcing, their early diligence, more and more ESG about that fund manager is being embedded into that practice. So does the fund manager have policies at their firm? Do they embed ESG into how they source and allocate their capital? And do they mandate that their portfolio companies track and report data? So again, it's becoming more and more part of the standard decision-making process, because we're seeing the value really after investment and then exit, specifically in this space.
Yeah, and it's great that this is becoming a criteria where they're asking these things and wanting better transparency and seeing what's going on. Are you seeing this really swaying where investments are also? Is it becoming a true criteria that may be weighted against what returns may be as well? Are people willing to take a little bit less in returns?
I would say the majority probably are not, but I think the same can be said for public markets. However, I think something that we're seeing, because now we're able to actually track the financial performance of sustainability or ESG labeled funds. We actually just released research that shows that these funds perform at or above standard funds. So I guess to say it doesn't matter because we don't need to take loss, right? It is still good investing. There are those impact investors where it's their, reason for existence, and they're really just looking for those positive externalities, maybe at the cost of returns. But I think the mainstream really is that you don't need to have it at the cost of returns. It is good investing.
That's great to hear, because I remember when the ESG funds first came out, it showed that they were performing above, and then there was a moment where it's like, wait, maybe they're not actually performing above.
Yeah.
But your research shows that you're not needing to compromise.
Yes.
Asking about these things is actually the smart investment decision as well.
We're seeing fewer swings, highs and lows, so at or above, and so it's good investing.
Yeah. Well, okay. So tell me a little bit about the power of ESG within private markets.
Yes, I think this is something that, as someone who started in public markets, really excites me, because something really unique to private markets. First of all, this is where all the big ideas start, right? The clean techs, the climate techs, the early seed investing, the ideas that can change the future quicker than, let's say, a standard corporate looking to change the way they currently operate today versus a new idea. But second of all, in private equity, you are a whole or majority owner, and you hold the company for 7, 10 plus years. So if you want to make a change, you do it. Right? You don't have to ask anyone else really. So there's just so much power in these investments in private equity that I think is something really exciting. And I think to meet our climate goals, to really do anything in these markets, you need to bring private alternative markets along with you. And I think there's a lot of power there.
Well, Jaclyn Bouchard, thank you for your work, and thanks for joining me today at the Sidebar.
Thank you.